November is upon us, and this month is for who, Justin?
Contenders.
And it feels very much like Ohio State belongs in that conversation. They kicked off the month with another dominant win, 38-14 over Penn State on Saturday in the Horseshoe, and that should give us plenty to talk about on the live show. We are here at Roosters. It is a fun, casual joint. We are brought to you by Tansky Powersports and Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems. We have Justin Zwick. We have Brad Robinson again. We have Nicole Cox. I am Austin Ward. And we've got win number 8 for the Buckeyes in the bag, Nicole.
I know. It's so exciting. It was a fun game.
I'm also told that this place was electric.
Packed
Yes.
On Saturday, all weekend long, because
the
Olentangy River location
Olentangy's back open, baby.
Back
is open, baby.
That's right.
Back open. So we appreciate everybody coming out. It was so nice.
What a performance, Jay-Z.
Yeah, it was good. I was a little frustrated at halftime. Just
You and Ryan Day.
just because the way that kind of went. I'm thinking, all right, 2 minutes. We got a nice opportunity for a 2-minute drill, something that maybe we haven't really, had against a good team, or, a good defense anyways. When things weren't going great, but, they turned it around, whatever adjustments they made, or maybe we just played better in the second half, gave up no more points, scored a bunch of touchdowns. I mean, we came out in the third quarter like we should have, right? So he talks about the middle 8 all the time. We lost that middle 8 going into, the middle, or that 4 going into halftime. Won it coming back out, which is what we had to do at that point in time. I think Penn State was just like, yep, all right, we hung in there. This is what it looks like now. And then they, couldn't get anything going, of course. It kind of scared me early on, a couple first runs, like, oh, this is going to be one of those days when they're just breaking off a 10-yarder right out the gate, but defense, settled in, and I thought some of those guys, Kenyatta played really well. I mean, Arvell, of course, had, I think, 12 tackles, the most he's had in a game this year. Sonny was all over the place. I mean, they're still flying around being really good, even though they gave up 14 points.
Even though they gave up 14 points. The standard that we're holding
real hard
is crazy, right?
Yeah. I mean, in my mind, that it's 38-7. You don't have that fumble. That's a really tough place to be as a defense, especially one as good as ours. It's fumble in the red zone right before half, or our opposite red zone, so it just gives the ball right away against a team that has very talented running backs. So it's not great odds, and then just doesn't feel good as well as it does going to half, where had we gone down the field and scored, then at half, like, no one's even worried.
27, we get a field goal at the end of the half.
No one's posting tweets about, 17-14 at half.
Upset alert, the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was somewhere on TV during a halftime show.
Yeah, I mean, what if they did it on purpose, Brad? Because, I don't know.
I don't know why else you run up the middle on that play.
That's what I'm saying.
That was one of the frustrating things for me. Like, what are we doing here?
I didn't understand the play, and I didn't understand the personnel because, Jay-Z, you and I talked about this on Sunday. It's like, if you were going to catch Penn State off guard with that play and it was going to pop and be an explosive, like C.J. Donaldson would probably be 4th out of 4 for the guys that could turn that into it. It's like, Ryan is like, you know what? We got to manufacture a little drama here. Fox needs the ratings. I want to
first and 10, 2-minute drill, up the gut, power.
Yeah.
Big noon kickoff. We got to give the people what they want.
I want to go peel the paint off the locker room at halftime because he said they felt like they were down 21 instead of up by 3. But
so maybe they were in on that because they did. But once he fumbled, I'm like, well, not going to see him the rest of the day. And then there he is on goal line, in the third quarter. I'm like, wow, maybe they did have something planned, Austin.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the resident conspiracy theorist.
Although I think he was down. They just didn't blow the whistle somehow.
Well,
forward progress.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like they let that pile go for a while, and then all of a sudden the ball pops up.
It balanced out with the Caleb Downs targeting so that he could play against Purdue. But so we don't have to criticize the officiating this week. But Nicole, what did you think of that performance? And Ryan Day saying, it felt like we were down 21 at halftime.
I feel like the standard has gotten very high.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Hold on now.
The standard has gotten very high, and this is when I don't agree with the standard in the sense of, we're playing so incredibly well. I mean, I just kind of am in awe of how great our players are. It's almost like I feel like I've never seen the team this amazing, the coaching staff this amazing. It was just really fun to watch. And even though there were those plays, I feel like the running plays, I feel like we were doing that because they're like, okay, we're up enough that we can just try this, and I feel like that's the time to do it, and then realize it's not working. And then at the very end, Bo Jackson had some great running plays, so I feel like we kind of were like, hey, reminder, we aren't bad at that either, so I mean, everybody's looking for a reason to find us that we're not the best, or looking for a reason to critique, and I just don't see it. I really don't, guys.
That's the way it's been through 8 games, Brad. All we can do is nitpick.
Yeah.
I don't know because because somebody asked me over the weekend, it's like, what would it take for a team to pull an upset over Ohio State? And like, they happen in college football all the time. And I actually am at this point where when Ryan Day is saying it is about us, it is about Ohio State, like that is true, because they have to do something self-inflicted with a turnover or play calling that's deficient. The path to beating Ohio State is as narrow, I think, as it has ever been. Now, that doesn't mean that teams can't walk down it. Penn State was going to have to duplicate play for play what Michigan did last year in November, and they couldn't do that. I don't know if Michigan is equipped to do that in the same way at the end of this month. We'll get to that when we get to it. But like, you have to have elite offensive line play, elite defensive line play. You have to be able to control the clock with a run game. You have to have 2 elite cornerbacks and a great secondary. You have to be able to generate pressure on Julian Sand. Like, you have to do everything.
And you're still going to need a couple balls to bounce your way.
And you're
doing all that.
And you're going to need luck. And that's not to say that Ohio State could never lose a game, but the way that it has to be done is as narrowly defined as I can ever recall.
I feel like in the terms of we usually always say Ohio State's biggest adversary is themselves. Like, if they're gonna lose a game, it's gonna be because of themselves. But this is in recent years. I can't find anything of another team, even the best other teams in the country that are playing really well. It's still gonna come down to we will have to be the ones to make the mistakes or not play up to our standard, whatever the new standard is going to be each week. But
let's not make it too high.
It's the quarterback play, the running back plays there when you need it, the O-line plays strong. The D-line, I think, is just only getting better each game. The linebackers have been great since the first game, and the secondary has been awesome as well. So it just is, if you can obviously eliminate turnovers and just the play calling stays where it needs to be, it doesn't even need to have to be crazy. It's just don't do anything to jeopardize it.
Yeah, it did feel like on Saturday, Jay-Z, that there were some new wrinkles, new personnel.
I think
yeah, it felt like they're starting to stack that up as they get into November.
Yeah, there was a lot of shifts and movement, early in that game, which I think they were doing to kind of confuse the defense. Probably knowing how Knowles wants to call it, and then what happens when.
Was it a good idea for him to play man, Jay-Z?
Yeah, well, no, that was a bad idea.
Oh, okay.
That is a bad idea, Jim Knowles. But they were doing a lot of that, and and I talked about this on the post game shows. People don't really realize, but I mean, Julian, there's a lot of words that come with the, all right, we're going to line up here, we're going to shift to here, we're going to motion to here, and then this is the play we're going to run. And all right, now hurry up, get up. And, like for him to just handle all that, and now he's handled everything all year long. But in a game where they're doing that a ton, I mean, they did that a lot in the first half.
They did.
Tons of movements, 4 guys going this way, it was a lot. And, to just be in that moment, be able to make the call, get up to the line, see what they're doing. I mean, and still just work the offense the way he has. I mean, that's pretty impressive to me, but, it was pretty cool. I feel like we can do almost anything we want to. I feel like going into a game like, well, let's throw the ball 60% of the time here. Like we can kind of do and pick and choose, I think. And I will say, we've been on the offensive line a little bit. Right side. There were some holes. There were some holes on Saturday.
Tegra played well.
Yeah, I thought Tegra played well. So I want to give him his flowers because I mean there were some big holes out there to run through and especially later on in the game as we warmed down and we saw Bo hit a couple big ones. But I think even early on, there were some nice holes in there. I think they played pretty well. Maybe not as well on the pass protection side of things, which has been the opposite all year long. But, they were able to get it done, and Julian helps them out when something does go bad. The 3rd and 5, scramble to pick up a first down.
Yeah.
You love seeing that out of a young quarterback who's not really known as a runner, but he does know, like, hey, I can go pick up 5 yards. I mean, he's good. He's athletic enough to do that, and that's all we need.
Yeah, that was the next step in the journey for Julian Sand and the Buckeyes on Saturday, and then they'll head on Saturday to Purdue. But if you're looking for your next adventure, head to Tansky Powersports. It is your one-stop shop for ATVs, dirt bikes, golf carts, which I know Jay-Z is looking for that right now, and so much more. Whether you are looking for speed, power, or versatility, Tansky Powersports has something for everyone with the best brands and expert service. Visit Tansky Powersports today at 2491 West Dublin Granville Road, or browse their huge selection online at TanskyPowersports.com. Tansky Powersports, where the adventure begins. And now our adventure takes us to the Roosters Buckeye leaves. And Nicole, this notebook is putting mine to shame. I actually have a show called The Notebook, and I don't take as many notes as you have here.
Guys,
You seem to be pretty impressed by what happened on Saturday.
My Buckeye leaves, I mean, again, I want to give it to the whole team, and so.
You can do that. You make the rules.
I know, but I want to talk about Julian, that the commentators said multiple times that he would be like this Heisman talk, And I just think that there's something to be said for that. I'm so glad that he's being hopefully considered.
He's the betting favorite now.
He is just always so calm and quiet, and just he goes out there and does his job. And if he makes a mistake, he's immediately trying to learn from it, and which I love. He loves to be coached, and I just have so much. I just admire that. I just think that's what makes great players. Again, Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. They are just.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do about those two?
I mean, and just I think another thing I want to touch on is what they said about they had done some interviews talking about each other, and in those interviews, all they did was support one another. And they said, you don't come to Ohio State if you want the focus, the limelight to be just on you. It's about the team. And he goes, and I love watching the success of Carnell. And those are men. Those are like great men in this world. And I just think Coach Day not only coaches great players, but he also raises like just great men in general.
Yep.
I think there's something very special about that. They're like the full package. And then Arvell Reese, I've picked him multiple times. He is just incredible out there. And Kenyatta Jackson played so well, like so well. He just he was aggressive, consistent. He had one of the balls down too. I have that written down. There was a lot of that. I feel like
7 pressures on Saturday.
Yeah. It was amazing. I think just this week I'm going to give my Buckeye Leaf though to, and again,
your Buckeye Leaf.
Yeah. Well,
I thought you just gave out a bunch.
I'm trying. I did. All those guys deserve.
They
one.
were just in contention.
Yeah.
They can all have one. It's okay.
I mean it. Like the whole team, it's hard to pick because they're all doing such a phenomenal job. In one part of my notebook, I tried to write something, I guess, critical, but even though there's nothing
Where is it?
critical, it was more to say people are trying to find a reason to find something bad about Ohio State that we're not doing well. And so I wrote on here, I said,
so you wanted to find something?
I said, we tried our running game. Maybe it's not the best. So God forbid you have to find something that we could work on. Maybe it's that. But then you flip forward and Bo Jackson had some great runs. And I was like, oh, never mind. Ohio State said, we can do this, So Ohio State's just the best. We should all feel very fortunate and remember that. Like, when they were talking about the crowd not being that excited at the beginning, the first half, because we let them, gain 14 points, it's like, who cares? I mean, this is football. It'd be really boring if they went out there and just blew out every single team they play. It'd be great. It'd be great. But things like that are going to happen in football. That's what makes it a game.
I mean, I don't even think that it was the game that was keeping the crowd out of it. I drove down 8:30 down High Street on Saturday morning. A lot of people in costumes or some clothes that didn't fit them that might have belonged to somebody else. Like, day after Halloween, it's gonna be a little sleepy.
Be a little slow on Saturday morning.
Yeah,
coming out of that.
I could see that. I didn't feel it.
Poor,
we had to go down.
Poor young
too.
lady with no shoes on. I don't know.
Just taking the walk, huh?
I don't know what she was doing.
a stroll.
Just a nice stroll in the morning with no high heels on.
Yeah, it's too bad Bob's not here. I think he would have liked more information for that. All right, JC, what do you got?
Oh gosh, who's left?
Nobody. She took the whole team.
She did. I want to give a shout out. I already did to Tegra.
Yeah.
Maybe not great, but hey, coming out of a bye week, maybe he figured something out. And I think he was okay.
I saw him, Justin. I made note of this, and I pointed it out to Birm on Snap Judgments on Wednesday. I don't recall the last time I saw it. It may not have ever happened. Not saying that it didn't, but Tegra and Ethan Onyano were two of the last people to leave the field. So I feel like maybe coming out of that off date, a little bit of fire lit for Tegra, and kudos to him. As you said.
Exactly. So I want to just get that out of the way. Brandon Ennis, I thought finally getting a couple plays. I mean, we've been waiting for it. He's been doing the punt stuff, returns, but able to find him. I think he's going to be a big part down the stretch. In the next 8 games if we get that many. Just as a guy who's in the middle, because these guys are getting all the respect right now, and so sooner or later, Max Clare, Brandon, they're going to be able to work that middle of the field. Just hanging in there, captain. I love everything he's about, so it was good to see him have some success. Bo finishing the game off, he's got to be the guy. I don't know the ranking of the running backs or the idea of when they're going to play, when they're not going to play. But I would love those two freshmen to just get maybe a half to themselves, something along those lines, just to get them some experience. That's not a Buckeye leaf. That's just something
just on your mind.
But yeah, it was just on my mind.
Yeah.
So Bo, and then you gave the defense everybody. I mean,
I still have 2 more that I.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I give my time to Nicole for her 2 more Buckeye leaves.
Jay-Z yields the floor.
Yes.
Who else is in there?
Guys, I did just want to give some credit to Sonny Styles. I don't feel like we've talked about him enough this year, and we've talked about him a little bit, but there were just two plays that I was watching. There was one play where he was blocking one guy with one arm and then had his other arm out as the Penn State guy was running with the ball and just tripped him up with the other arm. So 2 guys at once to help stop the play. And I was just
2 guys, 1 tackle.
yeah, basically
Bobby's
blocking.
not here.
I know, yeah. I'm trying to give them what they want.
And that just blew right over my head too. I was like, gosh darn it.
Well, that's what keeps you focused on the show, is that you tune out what Bobby's thinking.
Bobby,
Most of the time.
Justin's got Bobby on his shoulder right now. That's not good.
I'm going to see him in a little bit.
So I just thought that was very impressive. And then he deflected the pass at the end too, which was, I just feel like these guys are just so aware of everything that's going on the field. Which nowadays I know sometimes, that's hard for me to do, focus on more than one thing at a time.
That's right.
But, and also I just wanted to point out, because I feel like and no one's going to agree with me on this, but we're always so critical of special teams. And I just want to say that Fielding was able to get all of his extra points. No one's celebrating that. No one's celebrating it, but my goodness, we will hear about it when he misses them.
Okay.
So I just feel like we had to bring
There
it
you
up.
go.
Okay. I'm not giving him
Some
a
love for the special
but
teams.
it's
I
just
like it.
It's
Well,
just
we'll
expected.
We'll let Brad wait.
Yeah, it's just
tell us what he
expected
thinks.
for them to get it. And don't get me wrong, they are supposed to get it every time, but they also are. Sometimes they're not going to be able to do
Still
it,
gotta hit
and you can't just hate them for it. So I just want to bring that up. Let's just give a little love to that they
All right.
did that.
All right. You said no one's going to agree. Maybe Brad will. I don't know.
Brad, please have my back on that.
If it's an extra point,
He's going to make it.
he's got to make it.
Got to make the extra point.
4 field goals. Not saying he doesn't have to make it; still has to make it. But
Yeah.
I'm staying away from special teams. There was a great punt. Would have been
Botched
down inside the 5.
Watched at the end.
Bad gunner play. Not ideal. Don't try to catch the punt when the returner's right there. But kind of building off what Justin said is the Brandon Innes caught my attention, because if you read the stat sheet and you see Carnell and JJ had the numbers he did, you're like, oh, Brandon probably didn't have any catches. He had 4 for 40. I think he had another target, which if we're going to critique Julian for everything, had 1 throw that was off, and Brandon still almost brought it down on the sideline there. So I think as he's slowly been building and finding that role. I saw on online that someone was like, if he could just find that Johnny Dixon role, and I thought that was probably a really good comparison of Johnny was that guy that he had great numbers, he was a great team guy, but then it was always whenever you just needed a play or you needed a pass or something was going on, Johnny was going to be open. Look at the Penn State game in 2017. He was that guy that he was an impactful guy in the locker room, but then he was very good on the field. You just sometimes you don't always think of him because of the 1 wide receiver, the 2 wide receivers. So I thought Brandon did great. So he gets one of my Buckeye leaves, but then for me, it's actually the interior D-line I think is not getting the attention they deserve. First series, they were kind of feeling it out, but Caden McDonald and Will Smith, I saw Will Smith 4 times just pancake the center. There was one play he just didn't get up fast enough.
Well, the one he got tackled.
Yeah,
he's
tackled,
reaching his arm out
I feel like he got tackled to the ground.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's trying to get up, but he absolutely destroyed the center on that play. And there was a lot of plays like that. And if you erase that first series and then that sudden change of the turnover, that interior D-line absolutely dominated. Penn State couldn't run the ball anywhere, especially between the tackles. They had to kind of try to go outside, and they didn't have any success anywhere. So I think they really shined as the game went on, which was in a game that's supposed to be a more physically even matchup for them, because Penn State's still supposed to have a good O-line.
It's good to see that.
Yeah,
it's good to see that towards the end of the year.
Because that's what you're going to need when you go play the bigger teams and stuff. So I thought that was really good.
Got Edric Houston doing one of these. He's on the rise,
Yeah.
Brad.
That's what we need, because a few weeks down the road.
Yeah, and it frees up guys like Kenyatta and Caden to just go crazy at the edge if they only have one guy.
If you can keep those guys from
Yeah.
getting to the second level, I mean, those guys can just run around free like they have been.
I saw in Nicole's notebook that one person I wanted to give a Buckeye leave to was mentioned in there. She left it right here for me. That was very nice of her.
Perfect.
Before the game even started, Bennett Christian, he is not on the kickoff coverage unit, but he had his helmet off. He was throwing some headbutts out there, getting getting teammates on special teams fired up, juiced up, ready to go out there. He is an important leader. It feels like the team really rallies around Bennett Christian. Then he gets that touchdown later on and gets the reward for that. Just he does a lot of the dirty work, a lot of the thankless, blocking and things like that. But then when he was called on or he was given an opportunity to sneak out there into the route in the back of the end zone, he makes the play, gets the touchdown. That game's over, and one of the bigger celebrations that you saw from the sideline when Bennett Christian gets his hands on the football.
I'm a big Bennett Christian fan. I got to share the locker room with him for a year. Always loved him as a kid at the time. I was the old guy, but he was always a great kid. And every time I see him, he always comes up. It's nice, we chat. Like, he's a great guy, and like you said, he's that leader, that voice. He's a great physicality, and I think it's great when you have a leader like that. Obviously, headbutting guys pre-kickoff is nice to see, bring that energy. But then, like you said, the team reaction to when someone scores a touchdown or does something big tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, so big kudos to Bennett Christian for all that work and getting the reward and capitalizing on that. If you want to take advantage of the best deal at Roosters, Tuesday, it's Appetizer Thursday. They will be out here. Well, actually, they might already. Monday's orders might all be gone. Birm might have had all the mac and cheese bites that exist, but that will be $3 at your local participating Roosters. Jay-Z, I know that's high on your power.
The triangle of goodness. You just bite into it, and that gooey mac and cheese is in there. The steam comes off. You get the spicy ranch to dip it in.
You got the spicy ranch. Birm's got the hot sauce.
It's the only thing that can cure Birm's sadness from the Bengals.
Oh,
that was tough.
Oh yeah,
already got.
He might have 2 baskets today.
Yeah,
he might
with extra hot sauce for the sweat from his eyes.
Yeah, no, he's just sweating from his eyes. Nicole, there's another massive point spread for Saturday at Purdue. Mm-hmm. So I'm very curious to know what you think will happen as the Buckeyes head on the road here for one of the final times.
What is the number?
42-3.
42-3
is my pick.
Okay, right now I believe it's 28.5. So
28.5.
Nicole's got another cover.
She's got another. We've been covered.
Yeah, and that game will start at 1 o'clock, a special start time. So
what's that about?
I don't know. I can't explain it, but plenty of time to get to Roosters on Saturday morning and get ready to watch it. Because I'm telling you, there are 13 televisions in this back room. No better place to catch the Buckeyes game. Every single one will be on the Ohio State game.
Yes.
There are no other games that matter.
There's none that matter.
Anything else that's going on?
We are picking the final winners for the Buckeye giveaway today.
All right.
So the contest is over, but thank you to everybody who registered. We
all
appreciate that.
All millions of you.
Nope, not millions, but
millions.
Still very successful.
Oh, then we're not doing our job.
Contest.
Someday we'll be there.
Okay. All right, so that's that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, appreciate Nicole Cox and the whole team at Tansky, the Roosters over here, getting us rolling here with the first half of the show. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with a lot more of the live show at a fun casual joint brought to you by Tansky Powersports and Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Precision engineering, rigorous attention to detail. A Bryant Evolution heating system is so well designed, it's as much of a joy to install as it is to use.
Good to go.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
Welcome back into the live show. Birm is here, and he is
fired up.
Absolutely fired up.
Great weekend. Beautiful weather.
Jay-Z and I got done. We got to play the golf club, Brad, on Sunday.
We did.
And I got home in time to see the fourth quarter, and I was like, this is going to be a great finish. Awesome, exciting. Bengals are pulling this off. They get the onside kick. They go score. And I made the mistake of commenting about how great it was that Joe Flacco had engineered that. Birm is adamant that he knew they would still choke it away.
They did. I told everyone in my living room they're going to lose this game. That's what's going to happen, and they do. They find a way, like in Jurassic Park.
Life finds a way.
Mm-hmm. The Bengals find a way to just ruin my weekend.
But here's the thing: this is the sacrifice you're making for the Buckeyes to be better.
That's right.
Because they can't both be good, as we've seen.
That'd be too much good football in Ohio.
I know.
Can't have that.
The Browns and Bengals have to be bad, so the Buckeyes can.
You'd be unbearable if you got to enjoy everything all weekend long.
No, I mean I just don't believe in magic anymore. You know,
It's too much greed to want that much happiness.
It's fine.
But the Buckeyes are good, Birm.
They are good. You know who's good? Arvell Reese. He's really, really good. I don't know how it's possible that Ohio State has a defensive player who is more impactful than Caleb Downs, but they do. And like if you were to run down a list of improbabilities for this season, that would probably be close to the top. But Arvell, like 12 tackles, just an absolute game wrecker, does whatever he wants. And Penn State in the second half, like a couple times in a row, tried to get cute with little screen passes, and then like just out of nowhere, there's 8 just absolutely eviscerating people.
I think
it's unbelievable.
There was one where I think they picked up a decent chunk yard, probably like 5 to 8 yards, and out of nowhere he made the tackle, like because they beat the screen, they got past the first leg. He made the tackle. I had no idea where he came from. I was like, like where
he did it like I think he did it the next play too on the other side.
Yeah, I was like,
he's such a freak. And honestly, like the difference, you guys are talking, Brad, about Ohio State and like how the Buckeyes are they have to mess up, they have to screw up.
Yeah.
This team, because they're so talented. I mean, I think there's an argument. Ari Wasserman from On3 made a post on the Letterman Row message board this weekend or maybe Twitter, that Ohio State might have like the 4 best players in the country on their team, and that
only 4.
I'm kind of thinking like that seems low to me.
Estimate. I mean,
that seems like an insult to Carnell Tate.
You've got
being honest,
but they have aliens on their team, so like you can make a mistake like they made at the end of the first half, and it's fine. And I mean, it's annoying. It obviously pissed Ryan Day off. He was very unhappy. The team walking up to the half was very mad. Like you could see it on their faces. That's why, like in the old days, like when you guys played, if something like that happened at the end of the half, sometimes I'd worry, like because Urban was so like in your
uptight,
you just tighten up.
Different reaction.
That like I don't think it allowed you guys. And I asked Ryan Day about this after the Illinois game. Because he was in such a different mood after the Illinois game than I anticipated him being in. Like he was optimistic and like, hey, this team. And I asked him like a couple of days later, I said, why did you react that way? And he said, because they were already mad. I don't have to be mad at them. They already were pissed off. So I can just support them and say, hey, we're gonna fix it. And this for a team that was really inexperienced coming into the season, like they have grown up super quick. And you think about Ethan Grunkmeyer. He was obviously in the second year at Penn State. He's a Elite 11 quarterback, a lot of good things. You know, he's making his second start. Julian Sain's only making his 8th career start. Yeah. He's perfect. Like how Ohio State has been able to pull that out of him. I mean, obviously some of it's just natural talent, but now you're starting to see him grow into that comfort and the leadership role that like was the concern of the offseason. And it's like, sky's the limit for this team. They're only getting better, and there's certainly issues. There's concerns. I mean, you look at the way the Penn State handled the perimeter run game and kept Ohio State off balance. There's things you can glean from that, but overall, like, how do you watch this team and not be like, we are watching the best era of Ohio State football of all time?
Yeah, I think back to like the Urban comment is, when things were going well, it was great, but there was always that uptightness, that like fear of messing up with that, and that's when you'd have those massive implosion games, Purdue, Iowa, different things like that, where it wasn't a good way to be. And then now with how Coach Day approaches coaching, and now you have a team, because the cliche is always you're only as good as your leaders and like what they respond with. It's not about the coaching as much, but now you have a team that is bringing the best out of each other, and then so you have the best aspects of Coach Day's approach, and then you have a team that fits in that mold perfectly, where Coach Day knows he doesn't have to do as much, he doesn't have to react, doesn't have to light the fire, because everyone on the team does. And I think that's been the difference in last year's team, even more this year. I think it's just continued to build. So I think give a lot of credits to last year's seniors and the guys that are around this year, just because now it's kind of hitting that what the culture of Coach Day is really there, and it just took a little bit while to get there. So the earlier years, post the COVID season and stuff, I think derailed things, but now it really helps mistake-proof things.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan Day gets enough credit for culture building, because everyone just assumes that the born on third base crap, or taking Urban Meyer's roster stuff. Like he has done such a remarkable job with his coaching staff finding
he's
the
in
right
his
fits.
7th.
Yeah, I know.
It's not.
I know. I'm thinking like he's been through a few.
He's never for the detractors. He's never going to be outside of Urban Meyer's shadow in that way. But if you look at what he's done with the coaching staff, the decision to hire Matt Patricia, like the things that he's done to add to the culture is really not going to get enough credit. Yeah. So it's pretty amazing to watch that team.
Well, he also, when it comes to Matt Patricia specifically, was very self-assured in his decision. He knew that there would be, some negative perception and feedback of that hire based on what Matt Patricia had done in Detroit. The Belichick tree, personality, all those other things that were, part of that whole package going in. Because that's not the guy. This guy knows the defense. He's going to relate well to the players. He's done that. He's going to dive into recruiting. He's done all of those things. So, Ryan Day got that 100% right, and he's also he earned the opportunity to make those decisions.
Well, he's earned it, and he's earned it because when he's made those, they've worked out. And he puts more thought of just, I'm going to bring Chip Kelly in because it's a big name. Like, no, he knew Chip Kelly, he knew what he was about, and he knew they were going to be able to work, and he was going to fit into their system. And I think the same with Matt Patricia. He is awesome. I mean, every time I've talked to him after a post-game show, he is so cool to talk to and just down to earth and always thanking the fans and, Bucks. And he loves it here, it seems. So, I mean, you take that with how smart he is and everything he knows football-wise, like, what a great hire. And it wasn't a popular hire. Yeah. Well, Ryan Day, it was like the worst thing we could have done. We brought this guy in who didn't have great success in the NFL in Detroit. Yeah. Who does? I mean, so it's like, well, now, yes. Yeah, fair enough now.
It's still the one part of Michigan inbred. So.
He's still
fair, and I'll give you that. And I do like to watch them play with Campbell.
I was arguably, on this show, skeptical of the Patricia hire just as a Detroit fan. But then I've talked to my buddies that have actually played under Patricia in the league and everybody at, not just the players, but also the Ohio State staff members. I somehow each week I only hear more and more good things about Coach Patricia. I love how he is just embraced, his Instagram post, the big pencil thing that the band and the student section have. He is fully bought to college football atmosphere at Ohio State.
It's anecdotal, but when you think about a guy like that, the difference between him and a lot of other coaches. So a month ago, I skipped a Wednesday night practice because it was my birthday, and somebody must have told him that I wasn't there because it was my birthday. And then Saturday, walking into the game, he said, "Hey, happy birthday." Little things like that, taking the moment to actually connect with us in the media before the game, even though they're walking out of the field into the stadium, those are little things that it's not fake, and it really is different than what we've seen from previous.
Yeah, he ends every interview we do hey, I just want to say I appreciate you guys and the fans, and it's he doesn't have to, it's after the game he'd be all right, thanks.
Yeah, well,
he's hey, I just want I appreciate you guys, everything. The fans are awesome.
Fake.
No, not at all. It's
this
guy is awesome.
There's this inverse quality of the idea that a lot of college coaches I have to get to the NFL because I get to get away from all of the parts of the college game. But for a guy who's 47, 48 years old, who's been tossed around the NFL for the last 25 years and moving here, moving there, I think there's some real value in saying, I'm a part of the best program in the country. I don't have to go anywhere. My kids can grow up in an awesome city. I can be a part of this program with Ryan Day and Austin, we've talked about it on other episodes and stuff. Ohio State is going to make him the highest paid defensive coordinator in the history of college football.
He's the
and I bet it happens by
coordinator
December.
in football too. I've never seen a coach so happy and just enjoying
the split
coaching.
Screen on Saturday in the fourth quarter of the Horseshoe.
Cool.
That pretty much summed it up.
Yeah,
one of those guys took a lot of money. Now, pretty much the same amount of money that Ohio State was willing to pay him. And Nicole made this point a couple weeks ago about not trading Happy for money.
You should have one of those.
That was, there's no way that Jim Knowles feels good about his decision. And then you had to come back and have that shown to you while Matt Patricia is being flashed on the video board in the Horseshoe and everyone is going absolutely wild to cheer for him. And then he's getting booed mercilessly 10 months after helping win a national championship.
And meanwhile, you're averaging probably giving up 35 points a game for the last
and
5
you're trying
games.
to single cover Carnell team.
Well, and maybe that's why you're not doing so well. But I mean, the guy just gets stuck in his own, almost gets in his own way, and he just makes it so hard. I feel like I don't know if that's just for.
I think sometimes if you're a mad scientist, occasionally, the lab gets really isolating, and you forget how to interact with people. And I just think that in this era of college football, you can't be that coach. You can't be the coach who doesn't connect with your players.
It's like job security. It takes about 3 years for this defense to get it. So you guys just need to give me
That's
that.
actually a beautiful idea. Hey, what'd be great? Can you give me 3 years to suck, and then I'll figure it out?
So, this offense is really complicated. It's going to take at least 3 years for me to get it going.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah.
By then, you're hitting a good buyout.
Yeah, exactly,
Keep
right?
paying me all the way until then. But I think that mad scientist part, and I know that I'm not trying to use 2020 hindsight vision or revisionist history even, but when we call Jim Knowles a mad scientist, I still have a hard time personally imagining scenarios where Jim Knowles would have used Arvell Reese in the way that Matt Patricia is. Like, one of those guys, I think, is actually documenting creativity with the personnel and the scheme that I don't know, Brad, if that existed as much with Jim Knowles.
I think Patricia comes in, sees the aliens he has on defense, is like, oh, I can do something with this. Where Knowles comes in, he has his defense, his lab experiment, and he just sees, I'm going to force this ingredient.
I have to put somebody here.
It's one of those
completely different. He wouldn't change.
It's one of those coaching things that it always comes down to: a good coach adapts scheme to players, not the other way around. And I'm not saying Jim Knowles is a good coach. He's obviously been around a long time.
He did really well here.
He's not. This fit with Matt Patricia is significantly better for Ohio State and improving in the future.
Yeah, and I think the difference is when you go to a school like Ohio State as the coach, you don't have to have. It's not all just relying on you having a sound scheme. That matters, but you have these elite athletes. Where Oklahoma State has decent athletes, but your scheme has to be that much better than the athletes. Where here, it's just figure out a way to get these good players in space. Because I'm not saying Arvell Reese didn't change a lot in the past year, but for some reason we didn't really see him much last year.
I'm going to tell you, the conversation around him hasn't changed much in the last year. That's the reality. Like, there were people in that building a year ago who were saying, we have got to play.
You have to get him on the field. And so now you see it, and he's probably gone after this year, rightfully so.
I wish he'd come back.
Top draft pick, but
he's Malik Hooker himself.
Empty your pockets, boys.
Exactly.
It's going to take a pretty penny.
I wish he had to come back, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that would be
awesome.
Are you guys surprised at all about the launch of the Heisman Trophy campaigns? Ohio State tends to be a little bit conservative, cautious, let the play on the field speak for itself, and that's still ultimately what's going to matter. If Julian Sayin or Jeremiah Smith are going to go to New York City in a month and a half, they're going to have to beat Michigan. They may have to beat Indiana in the Big Ten championship game as well. But Ryan Day mentioned this on Saturdays. Like, I want to support my guys and give them the best opportunity. As a voter in the past and a voter for other awards, I don't think it's going to tip the scales for me, but Ohio State's at least doing whatever it can for its guys.
Lincoln Riley has made a career out of being a bad coach because he had
Heisman winners.
Yeah. So it is the one kind of thing that Ryan Day does not have on his resume. So I can understand why Ohio State wants to promote it and push it. But as you said, ultimately, if you win on November 29th, then Julian and Jeremiah are going to New York no matter what. At that point. And so who wins the award, it probably comes down to that Fernando Mendoza versus Julian Sayin battle in the Big Ten championship if Ohio State wins on November 29th, but win first.
I mean, I look at it as it's the same thing with Ohio State. There's a lot of teams that have been pushing Heisman candidates since week one. Teams that never left the state of Florida till this weekend.
How'd that go?
Not great for them. So you look at it, and it's not just the Heisman thing. It's Ohio State thing. All Ohio State has to worry about is themselves. If they just keep doing what they need to do, if our players, if Julian and JJ keep doing what they need to do, as we've already just seen the past 2 weekends, especially all those other Heisman candidates who their teams don't stop talking about them, they've all dropped off the top 10 of the Heisman candidates. It's just going to work out.
I feel like Ohio State basically just like, we're so good that at some point they're going to have to stop ignoring us, which I felt like they kind of did early on in the season. But then it got to a point where it's like, we got to start talking about these guys because they are putting up numbers. You had the Wisconsin game, and that really, shot Julian up. And, of course, JJ's awesome. I mean, geez, you could throw Carnell in there too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Austin had a great point on Saturday. There was a lot of national media who had scheduled to be at this Ohio State-Penn State game months ago because they anticipated it being a top 2 or top 3 matchup that hadn't seen Julian Sayin in person, that were under this idea that the Texas version of him was what his ceiling was, or that he was some game manager, because in that game, that's how Ohio State wanted him to operate. So I think there were just a lot of eyes open this weekend to be like, oh, this guy's actually like elite.
And that third down scramble
that was
his biggest boost to that, because it's like he didn't need the athletes. It was just him.
Yep. That was the play, because there were 4 or 5 national writers sitting right to my right. And like, I didn't know that he could do that. I said, we've only seen a little bit of that. Like, we're still learning in real time what all Julian Sayin can do. That, like, the presence in the pocket and the poise, we've seen all that, but then a jump cut, I was like, I don't know. You got that in your bag?
Yeah. He just keeps surprising us. I mean, he's so good in the pocket.
Yeah.
It's not surprising. He's,
isn't it time to let him run the darn ball in the red zone?
No.
Goodness gracious.
Give me a break.
I don't think so. Maybe just
bite your tongue.
I want to be clear. I don't think that the play call to C.J. Donaldson was poor on the in the 2-minute offense. I think having C.J. Donaldson out there was the wrong decision.
Yes.
But I think that the play is fine.
Mhm.
Like, you're still going to score on that. Ohio State's going to score on that drive.
Yeah.
Like Penn State was not going to stop them at any point. So I think that there's, you look at Saturday. You guys talk about the running back rotation. I don't know where it goes, but you saw 13 carries for Bo Jackson. The Buckeyes had 32 carries. C.J. Donaldson had 7. James Peoples had 4. Isaiah West had 4. Like it's just. How do you get into a rhythm?
And Isaiah was the second one to come in too.
Yeah.
And then we didn't see him the rest of the game.
I just don't know how you get into a rhythm.
agree.
Like you have to get hit as a running back.
I'm
You have
still
to.
very torn on this approach that CJ is our power back because he just doesn't prove it every single time.
I know,
he's
but
out
he
there.
does score the touchdowns in the.
No,
red
I know,
zone.
but if you give him enough chances,
yeah,
like I was driving down to the station and Jim Lachey was like, "Oh, I thought he'd probably get in on that one from the 1 yard line," but it's like when he gets hit, I feel like he runs with high
the
pads,
pad level's too
and
high.
he's taller, so it makes it harder for him to get down.
It's just you give Bo the ball to 12 and he picks up 5, and then all of a sudden he's out.
I think if you put any other of those 3 in there and you gave him 2 shots at getting in the end zone, they're going to get
I
it.
think that's the difference. Is he's not separating himself in that way that I think. I mean, I hope he can, but it's like when you have a running back like Bo Jackson who can hit a hole in space and just kind of disappear and get away. You need that guy that, hey, you have that 1 yard, one-on-one.
I think James
put your
Peoples is
shoulder
a
down.
small little. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
big dude. I mean, I don't know why he can't kind of be that guy. I don't know. At least we keep scoring. That's all. That matters.
Especially because he's
I mean,
really good in
it's
short
the nitpicking.
space, short
Yeah,
area
that's
stuff.
kinda what I
and,
was
like,
thinking,
does a lot of spins down his
Yeah,
line.
he's not going to necessarily break it maybe wide open, but in the goal line, you don't need to.
All right, Saturday at 1 o'clock, Ohio State at Purdue. What's your initial?
1 o'clock, such a
I know.
weird start
Yeah,
time.
I'm just gonna keep
Well,
saying.
the weather has changed. The forecast.
I
has
told
changed.
you
I
not
know,
to do it.
know,
I
know.
told you that the sun would not shine. That it never shines.
When
in West
I
Lafayette.
looked at the extended forecast for West Lafayette last Wednesday, it said 63 and sunny, and now it says 50 and
I
rain.
said 1,000,000,000% chance
Son
of
of a
gray skies.
gun.
And that place is a wind tunnel.
It's the worst.
There's
Remember-
no shelter
That's
from the
when
wind.
you were there in 2018, I don't know if you noticed outside the locker room the trash cans flying through the
I
air.
nearly died that
It was
day.
awful. It was the temperature wasn't the worst, but the wind chill
It was
made it awful. And then
And then that whistle that you got to listen to. They still do
And
that.
then the 56 points you guys
Yeah.
gave up.
Well, and then that.
I was on the end of my bench with my nice park on.
But
the-
you actually
Let's hope-
you didn't need to do a lot in that game.
No,
right?
I was the back of that year, and it was very cold and miserable, and it was like,
Let's
Liam,
hope
just keep
Julian
doing
doesn't
you
have
what you
to
gotta
throw
do.
it 73 times on Saturday. If that happens, we got problems. You said 28 and a half?
Yeah.
Why? Brad, what do you got? You going?
Oh, look at this
so
deflection.
throw it over to me.
Are you going?
I mean, their defense looked elite against the highest paid quarterback in the country this past
Hey,
week.
man, they play hard.
Yeah.
Mariota's got them playing
I
hard.
I've for some reason seen Purdue play a decent amount of football, and they're not like a rollover team. But so I think the first quarter will be close, especially because we're a slower team right now with the approach Coach Day has us under. But I think it won't matter in the end because I don't think they have the offense to do anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and say 42-6.
42-6.
Yeah.
I like Ryan Brown, that quarterback. He's got a little stuff to him. Like he moves around a lot better than you think.
Until our release hits him.
Until
but
our
that's
release
fine.
hits- I mean,
everybody's got a plan.
Chance
Yeah.
of Lauderdale Reese
That-
punches you in the mouth.
He's elusive though. I like him. We'll see if they get Devin Mockabee back next week. That'll make a difference. He obviously is their only good player on offense. 30.
He never looks that good against Ohio State. Though. We always talk about him, and it's like I don't know.
45-6 for Ohio State.
6. Jay-Z.
I'm going kind of in the wheelhouse where we've been, 38-10.
Okay. I don't think the Silver Bullets are going to give up any points on Saturday. Another shutout is on the way. 42-0. Just a little cruise through West Lafayette. It's going to be gloomy and ugly. Just get it out of the way.
It's football weather.
Get home and then get ready for UCLA's this November stretch run. Ramps up for the Buckeyes.
Can I say something? If you're watching this right now on Monday afternoon in Columbus, Ohio, go to the Ohio State basketball game tonight and have a crowd there.
Berm will be there.
I'm going to be there. 6:30 tip time.
Come say hi to Birm.
Season opener.
Look
Just
for him.
Get out there and support Jake Diebler's team. They need support.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
This PSA is brought to you by Jake Diebler and Berm's affinity for basketball.
I do love me some hoops.
Basketball is back.
go.
We're probably still not going to talk about it a lot more than that as we roll along on the live show. Thanks so much to Tansky Powersports and Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems, and of course the Roosters team here at Olentangy. This new place is awesome. It is open. Don't miss it. They have, if Berm doesn't eat them,
$3 mac and cheese bites.
Appetizer Threes Day
Let's
will
go.
be tomorrow. They have 99-cent boneless wings on Monday. If you want to swing by, that might be your perfect combo. Come over here before the basketball game, get some boneless wings, and then head down there and hang out with Berm and watch Jake Diebler and those Buckeyes later on. Thanks to Justin Zwick, Brad Robinson, Nicole Cox, Jeremy Birmingham for hanging out with me to talk about Ohio State beating the absolute hell out of Penn State on Saturday. They are on to Purdue, and we'll talk about that next Monday at Roosters. It's a fun, casual joint. We'll see you there.